G'day, I'm Peter Anthony. Welcome to Growth Tales. Aisha Makara was orphaned at 2 in Mongolia and raised in an orphanage in Russia. She then became one of only 50 artists to be selected by Elon Musk to have her artwork circling the earth on a satellite. Here's her story. G'day Aisha, welcome to Growth Tales. Where does your story begin?
My story begins in wild Mongolia.
In wild Mongolia, okay.
When I came to this world, to this beautiful, magical world.
Yes. The beautiful, magical earth. So you were born in
Exactly.
Mongolia?
Yes.
Yeah. And then what happened?
Well, my mother abandoned me when I was 1 year and 8 months. And
Oh, shit,
since
okay.
then, I'm living this amazing life by myself and trying
Okay.
and doing my best to figuring out what the best.
Okay, so she abandoned you when you were close to 2 years old. So you must have been what? You were sent to an orphanage? Is that how it worked?
Oh, well, she was living in Russia that time. And so
Yes,
it
okay.
was in Russian side in Siberia.
Okay.
And in
Okay.
Russia, it was like a Soviet Union. So one Soviet Union, or it's a little bit different. So it's like all the kids, it's about like a 30 kids in the house. And we all like it's like a dormitory kind of thing.
Oh, okay. It's not like a big orphanage, like a 1,000 kids in one place. It's like
No.
a big house, like a big family house with kids from different parents, sort of thing.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's girls is on one side, boys is on another side, and
Yeah. Okay.
we have meals, and we're going to the normal schools like normal kids do.
Okay.
Right, we just get to come back there, and it's now kind of like a home, and we have like about 5 people who's
Okay.
working or helping us,
Okay. Okay.
and we have people
So
who's cooking.
it's like 5 adults, if you like.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
In
five
our case, in
adults.
my case, it was about 5 adults.
Okay. 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 That must have been really challenging for you back then. Like when you were 2, that's like a
Yeah,
very, yeah. So
it
you
was
had
not easy.
so that's the hugely challenging beginning of the story. Now,
Yes, correct.
the next main thing is what?
Because it was not easy as a new child. You have challenges because other kids doesn't accept you,
Yeah.
and adults because they need to give you a little bit extra attention because you just new arrived a kid.
Yeah.
And so the other kids was very jealous, and envy, or like the fight with you, even your baby, they kind of calling you names. They very brutal. It was very
Yeah.
brutal. So I started to run away.
Ah.
And I was crying, of course, probably like first week, whatever, asking for
So,
mommy.
so you weren't thinking of running away from the orphanage when you were 2 because you can't run when you're 2, right? So you
Yeah,
must have been a bit
correct.
older. So what
Yeah.
I'm thinking, 10, 12 years old, you're thinking, I want to get out of here. I want to run away.
Well, I tried many times.
Yeah. Okay.
Didn't
Okay.
work
Okay.
out.
Okay. Okay. But they
Um,
always found you and brought you back.
correct.
Yeah. Yes. And before we started the interview, you were telling me about some dreams you were having when you were quite young about your future. When did you
Well,
first having those dreams or those?
well, when I started to read, I learned how to read. I started to read a
Yeah.
lot of fairy tales and different the mythologies, and I love to read. I really love to read. So I started to write my own fairy tales, and
What
in
were you
some
physically
point.
writing them? Were you actually writing the fairy tales? Wow. And you were the princess in the fairy tales, I'm imagining.
Well, I didn't call I was not any character there. I was just writing a fairy tale about, a boy. Sometimes it was a boy, sometimes it was a girl, sometimes it was a group of animals.
Okay, 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 okay. You were just like writing fairy tale stories.
Yeah.
Okay,
A lot of
okay,
them actually, a lot of them when I was a kid.
okay.
When I burned them when I was 16.
You
I
burned
burned
them.
everything. I was also do like journaling since I'm 7. And I burned everything when I was 16, 17, between 16
Why
and
did you
17.
burn everything? Why did you burn it all?
All what I was writing all the years.
But why would you burn all that? Why would you burn them all?
Honestly, I don't remember, but I was kind of like because people who in that moment of my life, I been in a group of people that was not like healthy for me, let's say like this, toxic, and they
Okay.
were like laughing at me all the time of my like this
Ah,
writing skills, and they were making fun of me all the time, and I was feeling like that's, you know, they tell me like you're not enough, you know, all these stories, and I'm
yeah,
being by
yeah,
myself in this, you know, in this world. So I couldn't connect. Even I had like a lot of friends, but they were not my friends. They were like just people passing by kind of thing.
yeah, yeah.
And I burned everything because I was like, oh, it doesn't matter, you know, it doesn't matter. And plus, like because teachers who was, you know, I want to be a journalist, and they kind of killed my dream. They didn't give me good characters at school because they promised me do the good characters, and they said to me I get to do this region test that was just invented in Russia that time,
Yeah.
and so they said to me, they asked me to take all these tests, like many of them. And I remember I was preparing for that for like several months, and I make very good scores, and still they put like very low score to me. So I couldn't get into the journalist school or
Okay.
university. And after that, I was super sad and disappointed. I was like, I was serving at school for like so many years. I've been leader of the class for so many years. I was doing all these activities and being active kid, you know, doing my best from my side. You know, I was, you know, doing whatever I can to make other people happy. And when it's my turn to be happy, and I was very expressive what I want to do and what I want to achieve and who I want to be. And I say, I want to be a journalist. I want to travel around the world. You know, I want to do this. They didn't support it. They killed my dream. And after that, I was just Google it, and I said like, who we need right now in this world? And there's engineers, doctors, and I was like, I don't want to be a doctor. And I don't mind to be engineer. You know, because I couldn't
Okay.
take blood. I'm getting very like.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I decided I can be engineer. So that's how I became an engineer. But that's just
But
Google it.
so did you work as an engineer?
Yeah, I work as
Yeah,
engineer. I work a little bit in Russia, and I work in Norway. In
in
Russia, it was like a
Norway.
practice for the summer things, you know.
Okay. Okay.
It's a little bit different. It's different system. The way education works in Russia. It's more like
So what sort of engineering were you doing? Were you doing was it like construction engineering, mining engineering? Was it
quality
building,
management.
project management?
Yeah, quality management. It
Oh,
was
quality
about,
management. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
quality on about the roads, the standards.
Oh,
Responsible
quality
for
and
the
standards.
standards. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So so then you moved to Norway.
Yes, I was continuing my
Yes.
study in Norway.
Oh, you were
That was
studying in
also,
Norway. You were
yeah,
studying
because
in
that was
Norway.
also very ironic because I was remembering I moved to Moscow, and because of my that moment of my life, I was involved in politics, and I was very young, and I was feeling like politics can help me to get, you know, to the better places because I started to travel more and other like around Russia, and they were like it was a lot of forums for the young yeah, leaders, and so eventually they moved me to Moscow, and they said to me I can continue to study engineering in Moscow. So the one person who was in politics like a leader on one of the youth politics like Russian, and they moved me to Moscow, and I continued to study in Moscow. And after I moved to Norway because I mean it just happened like so randomly. I just applied on the exchange student program,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
remember my friends were telling me, "Oh, it's like 1,000 people applying for that. It's not easy to get in, and blah blah blah, and all these things." I said, "Like, okay, whatever. I mean, it's not. I
Yeah,
got
yeah,
in.
yeah.
Cool. I don't get
Yeah.
in. Cool. I just
Cool.
tried, you
Yeah.
know,
Nothing
and
to
I did it.
lose, is that? I've got nothing to lose by applying.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
didn't speak
Okay.
any English that time. Just speak Russian, and I tried
Just
to learn
Russian.
English.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Okay.
you know, about the English, I was very young, and I was feeling like when I was 9 years old, between 8 to 9, I was spending a lot of time in the library, and I found the school, English school, online, not online, but they send you like books in English
Yeah.
and cassette. That time was a cassette, so they
Yeah.
sent me
Yeah.
a cassette, and after like there was a CDs, and so I sent them the letter. I explained everything, who I am, where I live, and everything. So they started to send me like books in English. So I started to learn English myself because in my environment, I didn't have any English teachers.
Yeah.
And I didn't have, we had a German teacher and French teacher that time. But we didn't have any English teacher. So I got to learn it on my own since I was nine until 17. They were
Okay.
sending me all these books.
So you
So
knew something about English. It wasn't completely
yes, a
foreign
little
to
bit,
you.
but I didn't have a practice. I didn't have like a
You
organic
had
practice of
you
speaking
had no one
with
to talk
anyone.
to. I mean, I think to learn a language, it's best to have somebody to talk to in that
Yeah,
language.
exactly.
Like if it's Spanish or it's English or it's Mandarin,
Yeah,
it's good to have someone to like converse with rather than
communicate.
just
Yeah.
listen to the cassettes. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. So you're in Norway. You're in a student exchange. How old are you at this stage? 18, 19?
Yeah, exactly. Hmm.
Okay. Completing engineering in Norway, of all places.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm. In
So
Norwegian, by the way, and I was working in Norwegian.
in Norwegian.
Yeah, I
Wow.
got on Norwegian in very short period, and I was, because I'm so active. And I was first my just I moved in, I got to do something, so I started to do like a pizza delivery. I had my pizza company, and I did.
In Norway. You're a pizza
Yes,
delivery girl in Norway.
yeah, on a
Okay.
bicycle.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
And after I
Okay.
did the sushi business, like delivery sushi, but sushi didn't work out so much. And Norwegian people didn't like sushi, but they did like pizza.
Pizza. I
Uh,
think everyone likes pizza, right?
in that little town where I was
Everyone likes
living.
pizza. Everywhere in the world, there's pizza. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was like just buying pizza very cheap in the grocery store. I put like extra cheese on it, and I was selling 5 times more expensive, and I would just like deliver it. That was very
Okay.
fun. I mean, I did like for like 4 months or something. I was interesting period, like interesting things, like entrepreneur, and and I remembering that when I was studying Norwegian. I was, like after 1 year, I started to knock on the door to the old companies and said, "Can you hire me as engineer? Can you hire me as engineer? I still study, but I would like to work as engineer." And eventually, I got a job for the
Oh.
government. I worked for the Norwegian government, and
Hmm.
they hired me as engineer.
Yeah.
And I started to build the roads, tunnels, and bridges. And again, because my leadership skills in a corporate, I was promoted every 6 months, getting more responsibilities because they were very happy that I'm so curious. I would like to learn. I was spending a lot of time reading the books, learning about how the road and tunnels and which type of materials to use, and like all the standards and all the so it's called like a control engineer, where we like controlling the standards of the roads and tunnels and bridges.
Oh, of the
And I was
projects.
work,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, the
Yeah.
projects, exactly. I was working on the projects, so I was promoted, and eventually I burned out. I was very young. I was youngest engineer in my team. I was like 21 at that time, and 20, I think, like 2021, and I was the youngest one. And they were like, "Oh, like you're super cool. You have like," when I express something like, "Oh, we get to improve this, we get to improve that." And they're like, "Okay, here is the green light from me." My boss was super cool, and he's always give me like, this kind of motivation. And they say like, "Yes, go and do it, go and do it." And so I did, and I was promoted again. And eventually, after like I think 2 years or something, 2 years and a half, I started to burn out because I understood that I don't have any time for myself because I'm working all the time. I'm traveling from the project to project, and no time. All this money, and you don't have time to spend them. You know,
Yes. Okay.
and
Okay.
but it was good. It was very good experience. I'm very grateful for this experience. But I learned that with all these responsibilities, it's not easy to like as a young woman, it's not easy to like manage it. Like not easy to balance it. And
Hmm.
one day I was sitting there, I was thinking, oh my gosh, so one day I'm going to have a top position in the corporate, and it's nothing to grow. So I will be in that position all my life, 40 years
Hmm.
until I retired. Um, No, I don't want to do that.
It
So I
didn't
want an
interest you.
exploration.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That wasn't your path. That wasn't your path.
Yes,
No.
I changed it.
Yes. So what happened? What happened next? So did you leave the engineering firm in Norway? You must have left it at some stage.
Well,
Yeah.
yes, I did, and I decided to be actress in Los
An,
Angeles.
an actress. So
But
you've gone from
that was
being
just 4 months.
an orphan in Russia that wants to study journalism, that studies engineering, that goes to Norway on student exchange, that becomes working on roads and tunnels in Norway, thinking, I think I'll be an actress. So you moved to Los Angeles.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of like I was in a theater when I was at school. Like it
Okay.
wasn't theater, it was like kind of like improvisation things,
Yeah.
like where you're just improvising and kind of like making fun of this Russia, Soviet Union thing about
Yeah.
like it was a funny, we called it like Agit Brigada. I don't know in English. It's just like a group of people getting together and making fun of
Okay.
funny scenes.
Yes, yes,
Like
yes,
stand
yeah.
up, but it was like more like a theatrical way to do that, making
Okay.
people
Okay.
laugh.
Okay.
I
Okay.
did it in university as well.
It's like satire, I think in English. I think it's called like
Maybe.
satire or yes, yes. Okay. So you had some experience in acting. You moved to Los Angeles. Like so now you're what, early 20s, you're 22, 23,
Mhm.
somewhere
Yeah,
around
I was
there.
like at 20, 24, 25. Yeah.
24, 25. You leave Norway, go to Los Angeles. What happens next?
Well, first I went to Hawaii, like for this
Hawaii.
course. Yeah, because me and my friend from the school, we were like, she was my best friend that time, and we were reading a lot of books about self-help and everything. And we discovered this Ho'oponopono,
Yeah.
please forgive me, I love you, I'm sorry, I love you. And I was reading these books of Joe Vitale. And I said to her, this is the course in Hawaii, we should go.
Yeah.
And she said, like, she actually said to me about that. And anyway, so like I went and she didn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
I said to her, I'm going to move after that to Los Angeles and I'm going to be an actress there. And she said, okay. And all my Norwegian friends was like, you crazy. It's better to study here acting and be like
Well, it sounds
actress
like
here
a
in Norway.
crazy thing for an orphan Russian born in Mongolia that's doing engineering in Norway to
It's
suddenly
crazy.
go to Los Angeles to become an actress via Hawaii. So, what was the
Yeah,
course in
no
Hawaii
English.
with no English? You had Russian and
Very
Norwegian and no
poor.
English. There's not many roles for like Mongolian-born Russian orphans that speak fluent Norwegian in Hollywood, right, or in Los Angeles. Very few
Exactly.
roles, I can imagine. So, what was the course in Hawaii that was so attractive to you that you thought was so good?
Ho'oponopono.
Ah, and what is that? What is that course about?
It's about how to be grateful because I was practicing
Ah,
gratitude already, and
okay,
it's
okay,
about find this like a gratitude or balance in life and be
yeah,
peaceful within yourself. And I was the youngest in the room, and
okay,
many women came to me and said to me, "What are you doing here? Where are you from?" I said, "I'm from Norway." Norway? Where's in Norway? I said, "I'm actually from
yeah,
Mongolia, but I'm actually came from Norway." And that was
yeah,
that moment of my life being solo trip, the longest solo trip I did in that in that
okay,
age.
okay.
And
So you were learning about gratitude in Hawaii,
Yeah, I
and
started to do
then
it in Norway, and I was just wanted to kind of like go through this process,
yeah,
meet
fair
people,
enough, fair
meet
enough, and
doctor.
and then and then you moved to Los Angeles.
Yes.
At this stage, you're learning English. I'm imagining.
Yeah. It was all the time I was working with vocabulary. It was
Okay,
English
okay.
dictionary.
Well, the dictionary. Okay, so I can't imagine your acting career was huge in Los Angeles if you couldn't speak much English.
Yeah, I was doing background jobs first, and after like I had
Y-
like a line in theater, but that was like a 4 months. And
Yeah,
one day I was in one of these parties in Hollywood Hills, so somewhere like with a beautiful view, and I sitting there, like musicians playing, like everyone has a groups, like whatever they're passionate about. And I'm
yeah,
sitting in the sofa, and I'm thinking, wow, it's such a lonely life. and that's a very lonely path to be an actress. And I'm
Yes.
feeling like that was a like kind of like epiphany for me, because I was like, I actually would like to experience real love, and I would like to do the just normal things like normal people do. I don't want to like
Yeah.
run around and do all these things that's maybe it will work out, maybe not. And I knew that it will work out because I already got an agent. We're already working towards the contracts, and my English is supposed to go to the acting school. So I knew
Yeah.
that I'm moving towards people like my personality. I'm super funny, and it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
was very like outgoing, creative, funny,
A-
active.
And there was a very famous actor, Arnold Schwarzenegger, who went to Hollywood without being able to speak English. He was Austrian, an Austrian bodybuilder, and he became one of the biggest movie stars in the world
Exactly.
without any English or with a very little English, like very like Austrian accented English. Like I'll be
Exactly.
back, like Arnold said.
And he became also the what that called, the governor of California two
He
times.
was became the governor. Yeah, he had three careers. He was a Mr. Olympia
Bodybuilder.
bodybuilder, and then he was the biggest movie star in the world. Then he was governor of California, and he married into the Kennedy family, which is also
Hmm.
quite amazing. So that was so. Back to you though, like you're now in Hollywood looking for acting roles, thinking, no, I think I might rather fall in love than be an actress. Is
Yeah,
that where we are? Yeah.
exactly. So I come back to Norway, and
Oh,
after
you
that
go
I
back
moved.
to Norway. Okay,
Yeah,
back to Norway. Okay.
and my chef said to me, like my boss was in a contact continue with my work, and they said to me, oh, if you want to get your job back, you can get your job back.
Okay.
So I come back and I started to work again as an engineer. And
Yeah. Yeah.
at that time, it was just last for 9 months. And I left again and I said, I'm going to travel. And my boss this time said to me, good luck with everything. I know whatever you're going to do, you're going to achieve success.
Yeah. Sounds like a
And
great boss.
yeah. And but the second time he didn't offer me like, oh, you whenever you come back, get your job back.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So I
Okay.
went traveling around Europe, and I said I'm going to move to south. Because I was very tired of Norway. It was very like cold all the time, and I always want to
Yeah.
live
Yeah.
like somewhere warm.
It's
And it
also
was
very
like, why
dark. It's
not?
dark for half of the
Yeah,
year, isn't it, Norway?
yeah, correct. And so my dream was like I get to live somewhere like in the warm places, and I think like, why I get to wait until I'm retired? Why I cannot do it now? So I started to travel. I went to South Italy. My idea was South Italy, South France, or South Spain. That's what I did. I went to travel and check it out, different options there. And what happened is, I did the Camino de Santiago that Paulo Coelho did as well.
Yep.
Paulo Coelho was my favorite author that time. I was reading his books. I had his books with me, and I remembering that I was like, I get to do that Camino de Santiago. So I did Camino de Santiago whole way from San Jean Pierre de Porto Finisterre. And I was the only one who did a solo from Mongolia. And that was for them a very young one as well. And for many people was like, wow, you're a shaman. You're very like wise. You just go on an adventure and you just don't care. Like you don't have
Yeah.
any
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
like this judgment in you that's, oh, it's not right. How about money? How about this? How about my insurance? How about? I said, what to worry about? I mean, if the life wants you to be alive and God wants to be alive, everything will be fine. It's like just trusting to the process. And
Yeah.
trusting that was my adventure when I was a kid. It's like, okay, they're getting me back anyway, so what's to worry about? It doesn't matter how far I go, they get me back.
Yeah.
That's the same. Like whatever is happening, if the God wants me back, they will send me back.
Okay. Okay.
And
Okay.
what happened is I discovered Portugal. And when I come to Portugal, I was like, wow, this is my country. That's where I belong to. And I just was so in love with Portugal. And I traveled in Portugal like maybe 3 weeks. And I was in love, really in love. So I decided I'm moving here. So I come back to Norway, pack my stuff, and I moved to Portugal. and I become a businesswoman in the age of 26 or whatever, 27 that moment.
Okay, so
And
you're 26, 27 years old. You moved to Portugal. You don't have a job.
no, but my savings was enough. I was saying, oh, my savings is enough. It's like for like 2 years to live here.
Oh, good.
And
Okay.
but the thing is, what happened in Los Angeles as well. Like I realized Los Angeles is very expensive. I would like to keep my lifestyle the way I want it. I get to minimum make like 10K in months, And I was like, oh my gosh, my all my money is enough for like few months for 5 months. So I said
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
enough. Like I don't know, and it's so stressful, and people also like running. I don't know. I was feeling too stressed. Started to feel like that stress, and I don't like stress. I cannot stress, because that's as it's like it's not good for my health,
Yeah.
to stress at all. So I don't like stressing out, and so that's why I left, because in that moment of my life I couldn't imagine to live in a car or living in a van, or
Yeah.
now I
Yeah. Yeah.
experience all of that, so I kind of like I'm fine, but that time of my life, I couldn't imagine, because I'm this princess kind of, traveling around the world in a luxury, and being like very well educated, and I was like getting very good salary, and I was super smart. For me, it was like going and be homeless in Los Angeles. I couldn't like
Yeah.
for my acting career,
Yeah.
and waiting for my papers for years and years, probably like until I'm getting something, like approval from the American government. So I said to myself, that would be a miserable life for the I don't know for how
Yeah.
long, and I don't want to have that miserable life when I have
So, so,
amazing life in Norway.
so what happens? What happens in Portugal? So you land in Portugal, 2 years of savings. What happens then?
So I started to go first as a modeling, and I want to do like acting as well here. And I this time I signed up for the school, like acting modeling school, and I met the girl there. Like she was Chinese or Japanese, and we become friends for like a little bit. And and I was sharing this idea of community. I want to like kind of build a community of like-minded people who is all about like Zen and gratitude and peace. And so what happened is like she introduced me to the psychologist who was kind of like similar idea.
Yeah.
And in 2 weeks, so like I think 3 weeks after I moved here, I moved to the farm, like a big farm, where we started to build this community. And that was very funny, because I said, okay, it's no big deal, guys. I can take care of everything. I have money, like I can pay for the rent, like, and do this and this. Like, let's build this community. So all the people was vegan, like Portuguese people was
All
vegetarians or
right.
vegan.
Okay.
And I wasn't. I was eating meat that time,
Yeah.
and I was in keto diet that moment. I was just practicing like a different diets, and I love keto diet. It was like amazing for me. Like I feel like very active, super sharp. I was like super like active. Like I love it. I love that feeling. And what happened is we started to build this community from February to April, late April. That was my period where I was like doing this. And so I meet many people in that moment. I went to many network events, kind of like building up and getting to know people. And what happened, I said we get to rebuild this farm and make it more, kind of like cool, because the farm was very old. It was like one house was okay, you can live in that house, and the other houses was not good. You get to rebuild it or reconstruct it. So I got my one of my friends I met. She's from Russia and from Siberia, Novosibirsk, and she has a husband. And husband said to me, "Oh, I have this Ukrainians who came over, and they're kind of like construction workers, and they need a place to stay. Is it okay? They can stay on the farm with you, and they can
Yeah.
help you, like volunteer their time to." To get all the materials, and they can build slowly, because I didn't have the budget for that. And I said, these Portuguese people, they didn't have any money. So I get to take care of everything myself. And I said, okay, it's a great deal. I'm open to that. Let's do that. So they came over. He brought like these people. And these people was eating meat, drinking alcohol. And it was like the vegetarian people was getting crazy. And it's
Yeah,
become
yeah,
fights. It's become like in kitchen was every time fights. Everyone was like, and I tried to kind of keep it. I was young, you know, I was 26 years. I was like, they're
yeah,
all
yeah, yeah,
older than me. And I'm
yeah, yeah,
trying like, oh, this is kids. Like it's a kindergarten. What's going on? It's
yeah, yeah.
crazy. Like fighting for the meat, fighting like that, all this stuff. And I was a little bit confused. I was scared, you know, at some point. I was like, I was not feeling scared, but I was kind of like saying,
Yeah.
stop to do that. You know, it was like
It's
fights
okay to
every
be
day.
scared. It's okay to be scared.
Yeah.
That's
And I
okay,
started
pretty normal.
that, yes, it's also that I started to date, I fell in love and I started to date Portuguese uh, man.
Mm.
And one day he's coming to the farm and he says to me, it's crazy. It's not safe for you here. And I was also doing the real estate. You know, I want to do like real estate. So I was also do the classes in real estate that time. I was between Lisbon and, you know, this outside of Lisbon, Montijo. And and I was doing these trips back and forward. I stayed 4 days, you know, in the farm, and 3 days I was in Lisbon. And I was expressing very clearly my intentions. I said, you know, I'm going to work in real estate. I'm going to make money. I will take care of you guys here. You're building the community. We're going to build the community. I'm going to be like 3 days a week here and
Yeah.
slowly, and 2 days a week here. But 4 to 5 days a week, I get to be in Lisbon to build my like a real estate career.
So
And
it seems like this is a very free spirited life. You're almost
oh,
like you have an instinct when you're in Russia uh, to go and work in engineering, uh, and then you think, well, I think I might go to Hawaii. Then you think I might go to Los Angeles. Then you go to Lisbon or Portugal. You keep like almost working on whims. You have like a whim or an idea to go somewhere, and you just do it. You don't,
yeah,
because
I
most
have to
most
get
people have those whims or have those dreams, and they just don't go.
I
Like
know.
most people
Many
don't
people.
go. Yeah,
They don't even
yeah,
try. This is
yeah,
what I
yeah,
said. You don't even try. How you will know that you don't like it? This is what I used to say to people. I want to be an actress. I went there and I said to myself, I don't want to go through that experience. I don't
yeah.
want
I
to
don't
go my
like this. Yeah,
spirit
yeah,
being
yeah,
I don't want my spirit or my soul go through this experience because it's painful experience, you know.
yeah.
And America in general was I moved to America as an artist later. Decided to do my because I was doing art just like as a hobby, and I didn't consider myself as an artist. And I was writing. I still do
Are you
journaling.
doing? Are you doing artists at this stage when you're in Portugal when you're like mid
Yeah,
20s? You're
yeah.
doing art. So what sort of art are you doing when you're in
That
Portugal?
that was like abstract. Like sometimes it's like was a picture, sometimes it's abstract. But I didn't like do that for the sale. My gay friends love my art. They buy it sometimes. You know, had like people here who buy my
Your
art.
gay friends liked your art.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, okay.
They love
So,
it. They still do.
it was, what sort of art are we talking about? Painting? Like, are they
Yeah,
paintings? Are they sculptures?
on
What are they?
canvas, paintings. Yeah,
Paintings. So while you're doing all this, you're still painting.
yeah. Sometimes I was not like doing it like too often, but it was just like
Okay.
one painting, maybe three paintings a year. You know, like something like that. I was working on them for like I didn't work for like a day, but it was like I'm working a little bit. You know,
Okay.
continue. I'm
Okay.
working.
So when did the sculpture start? When did you start sculpting?
No, I don't sculpt. I just do
You
the
don't sculpt at all. It's all painting. It's all
yeah, painting or drawings. I work with a paper. I work with a canvases. I work with acrylic. I work
okay.
with markers.
Okay. Okay. So you've always done this? Always, like since you were
Yeah,
a kid, you've been doing art, like painting, acrylics,
writing
writing. Okay. Okay. And
just naturally, like intuitive. I
that's
think.
just part of who you are.
Yeah.
Just part of who you are. And I understand somehow your artwork, somehow you got connected with Elon Musk. And how did that happen?
Well, I had a so COVID happened, right? 2020. I moved to America to Miami, and I want to be in
Yeah.
Art Basel as a
You moved
artist.
to Miami. This is okay. And you think, I'd like to be a model. So you moved to
No,
Miami,
artist,
an
artist,
artist.
or
Sorry, I thought you
painter.
said model. So
Painter.
I think I'd like to paint in Miami. You move to Miami. You start painting in Miami. Yeah.
Full-time. I become a full-time artist. I do art classes. I was working with kids. I was doing like a lot of
So
art
you
classes.
become so you leave that community in Lisbon in
Yeah, because
Portugal.
yeah, I had already that property management company. I had a boutique hotel with 10 rooms. I had already managed the other properties and I did real estate. So I
Wow.
developed that, for years. And that was something, I had I didn't like it so much because I understood I started to do it for the money. And it's because of this, whatever, my businesswoman idea that I had. But I started to understand that I started too early, because I wanted to travel until 30 as in my dream, like, let's say, organize for myself. But I started to do this,
Okay.
become this entrepreneur or like businesswoman, like early. And it worked very well. The thing is just, was a lot of work. You also get burnt out.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. Yeah.
after a while, when I moved to Miami, I did first property management, luxury property management with Russians in Colombians. And like it's also
Yeah.
was connection from Los Angeles. My friend who I studied was in Russia. He connected me with people in Miami who was doing this luxury property management because I was doing the same thing. So I said to myself, okay, I can invest in this. I can invest my time. I can invest some money. It's not a big deal. But that was a fraud. In the end, they disappear and they took all the money, not just my money. It was like a whole scheme. Anyway,
Okay.
that was very sad part. I just moved in and I was trusting. I was like, okay, let's work. Because I didn't have this
Yeah.
experience in Europe. I didn't as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Everyone is trusting and everyone is there and show up and doing the work, and it's completely different in Portugal. And in America, it was like in Miami, especially, it was crazy. Like especially in the business, you get to kind of be more aware of this. And as a naive Norwegian, like living in Norway for so many years, being so naive, like how the world works, it
Yeah.
was not cool. So I decided to be full-time artist in 2020.
Yeah.
And COVID happened. I started to do art classes. I was already working for the meditation center. I got my apartment. Money was coming in. I knew. I feel like I have enough, to pay my bills. Everything is fine. I didn't want to spend my savings. I decided like I'm going. I already spent I invest my savings and it was not good. So I decided like, okay, I'm going to work right now towards to be an artist here and be in Art Basel in 2020. But it didn't happen because of the COVID, what happened, right? And so in 2021, I ended to 2020, I was already working with a kid. I saw my art on online. It was very good. My people love my art, and I got some art collectors. And what happened 2021? I remember I made this dream. And by then 2020, I send my art to the Elon Musk. I send my art to Jeff Bezos, and I send my art to the Richard Branson. And I
Richard
ask Elon,
Branson. So you sent it to Richard Branson, Jeff Bezos, and Elon Musk. You sent them your art, and what did you say? What did you say? It wouldn't have just been
so
sent
I
the
wrote a
art with no
letter.
message.
I asked Elon Musk to send my art to the space. I asked Jeff
You
Bezos
ask
to
Elon
send.
Musk to send. You ask Elon Musk to send your art into space. You ask Jeff Bezos what? He can't send it into space, can he? What you
Yes,
asked?
I asked him to send me to the space and do art in the space.
You asked
And
Jeff Bezos to. What did you ask Jeff Bezos to do?
to send me to sponsor me to send or support me to send my body to
Ah,
the
okay,
space and
okay.
do art.
Oh God, okay. And what about Richard Branson?
I
Same.
asked him that I can paint his rocket with my art.
To paint his rockets. Yes, because he's got Virgin Space. He's got some
Virgin
Virgin
Galactic.
Virgin Galactic. That's right. That's right. Yes, he's got that. So you wrote to all three of them with your art.
Yeah,
Did
and I
they all
send
get
my
back?
art to them, and I send letter to them, to their offices.
Yeah.
And
And what
so after,
happened? And what happened?
well, many things has happened. So like I would tell you, like in 2021, it was crazy year. I moved to the living in a van, and I was selling my art from the van. I was traveling around the state, or like at least like a Florida at
So,
that
so
moment.
you left Miami and you were traveling around the United States in a van selling art.
2022, yes, and
Yeah, yeah.
And what happened is my van was broken in, and in May, and everything was stolen from me. Absolutely everything. I was sitting there. My van is completely like crack, whatever, like nothing. So I'm sitting there, and I don't know what to do. Vulnerable, and I just was like, okay,
And
whatever. What's
you were traveling in this van alone around America. Wow. Okay. That takes a lot of courage.
a lot? It's crazy. It was crazy, but anyway, that's a different story. It's a lot of lot to share about that. It was also challenging in many ways. People like surprised, and they kind of like don't understand. They don't understand the idea that you're living a dream. That was my dream, to live 6 months in a van, and after like
Yeah. Yeah.
time, but
Yeah.
it didn't. It was almost 6 months, but these
And
things happened.
you've always followed your dreams, correct?
Yeah, correct.
You have a dream and you follow it, like all over the world.
I do
So
it.
I'm really curious. So you're in your van, you've had everything stolen. So when do you hear back from Jeff Bezos, Richard Branson, and Elon Musk? When do you hear back
I
from them?
fear. So it was my friend. She sent me a message on,
Yeah,
I think, on Instagram. She said like, "Oh, look," because I'm sharing this dream with everyone. I said, I'm going to do this. I will send this. I did this, and she sent me a message and said, this is like a group of people applying. You can apply to send your art to the space. So I applied. I went. They selected my art. They selected me as an artist, and they asked me to do like 8 artworks. And I was in that moment festival, like in a festival, so living in community. So I couldn't, like, the people who was living, they didn't have tools, and I didn't have any money in that moment to like getting all these tools to do art. So I was improvising, and eventually I sent them my art, and the I did the interview as well with them. We had an interview like this, like me and you, like 30
yeah,
minutes
yeah,
interview. They like me, and they said to me that they want to send my art to the space. And after they selected 2 of my artworks that is engraved in golden plates, and they sent was a transformer, what that called, the Falcon 9, in
yeah,
January
yeah.
1st, and they sent my art to the space. I
Wow.
was one of the like 50. They selected 50 artworks, and that 2 artworks was mine.
So how are they
So
in
Elon Musk
space?
did his job.
So how are they in space? Are they orbiting the Earth?
With
how
a
are they in
satellite.
space? They're on a
With the
satellite.
satellite,
There's a satellite orbiting the Earth with 100 artworks on it. 100 altogether.
50, 50, 50.
50. And how many of those are yours? 2 of the 50 artworks are yours, right? On a satellite orbiting Earth, right? So this little girl who's 2 years old that gets orphaned in Mongolia, that is in an orphanage in Russia, that moves to Norway, then does a course in Hawaii, then goes to Los Angeles to act, then comes back to live in Portugal, then lives in Miami, then travels around America in a van, approaches Bezos, Richard Branson, and Elon Musk and says, "I'd like my art in space." And now you have 2 of your artworks orbiting the Earth on a satellite. That's an amazing story. Now, I'm curious. I mean, for people listening to this, Aisha, it's an amazing story. It really is. What advice would you? I'm guessing you're the dream girl, right? You're the girl that
I'm a
chases
dreamer
dreams.
and I'm a walker. I'm a doer, both.
You're a dreamer and a doer. Absolutely. You work hard, you dream hard, and you work hard. Right. That's what I. And you're also very engaging, which helps. Okay. So, what advice would you give to people listening right now that have got a dream? What
Anything is
advice would?
possible. All the dreams, have as many dreams as possible, because that's give you a longer and beautiful magical life, and you don't know how it's going to happen. Be open, trust the process, and smile. And
Yes.
how the Walt Disney used to say, if you can dream it, you can do it.
Yes. If you dream it, you can do it. That's your advice. That's your advice.
Absolutely everything, the universe, the God wants you to live the best life while you're here in the planet Earth.
Yeah. But you need to have the dream to make it come true, right?
All the
Yes.
time.
And you are a living example of that, of a little girl orphaned in Mongolia that's got her artwork in space.
Exactly. And now I'm living in a sailboat. My next dream is going around around the world in a sailing boat, the best sailing boat in the world.
Now you're living on a sailboat. so
Because I want to I want to like learn about more and more sailing, and you get to do that. You get to really like
of
work through
course
the
you do. When
process.
you're living on a boat, you've got to learn about sailing. So where are you now? You're living on a sailboat.
I'm I'm back to Lisbon.
You're back in Lisbon on a sailboat,
Mm-hmm.
and you'd like to sail around the world.
Mm-hmm. My next big dream. Yeah, my next big move. Not now. I want to first like 3 years practice, but and I'm open. I'm open if it's going to be happening, and the possibility or opportunity will arrive, the best opportunity that I enjoy. I will say yes, of course. Or I feel like to say yes, I will say yes
Yes.
and
So
just go.
you like to say yes to the universe.
Yes, correct.
So, and you must have a pretty good connection with the universe because you know when the universe is talking to you and you know to follow that message.
Yes, I
Yeah.
trust so.
You trust the universe. Well, the universe has been good to you so far.
Yes. It was challenging, but I knew like, when you big dream, you get to go through some experiences that you don't even know, you cannot even imagine. And you still get to experience them with a smile and with a gratitude in your heart. Be grateful
Yes.
for all the experiences because that lead you to the bigger opportunities that you even don't know how it's going to unfold in the end. The most
Yes.
important to trust the process and enjoy it, enjoy the ride of life.
Enjoy the ride.
You get to also get my book. I published the book Joyful Living Guidebook.
Your book, what is your book called? Your book is called
Joyful Living Guidebook.
A Joyful Living Guidebook. Okay. I'll I'll put a link in the show notes to how people can contact you and how they can get a copy of your book. Yeah.
Amazon. I'm working right
Um,
now international. Right now it's only in United States,
yeah.
available in the United States market. And soon I'm going to publish it international market, on international
Okay.
markets. Hardcover. And
Okay.
always you can buy ebook.
Of
It's a little
course.
bit,
Of
different.
course.
Ebook is one of the options.
Of course, you've written a book. Of course, you have. I mean, why am I not surprised? why, why would that surprise me?
Oh,
It's very, very
audiobook.
good. Yeah,
It's
very,
going to
very
be
cool.
audiobook soon is going to be available. But the thing is, I recommend to get my book because it's a hard table book with my art in it as well. It's not just
Uh,
advices or like thoughtful ideas that give you way more perspective on the things.
yeah.
It's also a table book with my art, like a little table book with also my art can inspire you.
Okay, so
By
I wouldn't get the audio book then because I'd like the artwork too.
so I will, right now we're working on get to the international market. I think it's going to be in a month, maybe 2 months
Okay.
available in the
Can,
international
can you
markets.
can you send me a link to how people can find the
Yeah.
book
Yes,
on
I will.
Amazon, and I'll publish that in the show notes so people that would like to get a copy of the book they can get that because I'll certainly be getting a copy. I'd love to see your art and your joyful living advice.
Joyful living, namaste. I think like many, like my
Namaste.
advice, yeah,
Namaste.
my
Namaste
advice
to
is
you.
always, for me, like always think positive. And it's all about
Yes.
like work through your trauma, whatever trauma you experiences, because these people like don't stuck in your emotions. That's maybe one of the things that probably in Russia we don't have so many emotions. We just like, as a robot, I go like more soldier, like a
You push
soldier.
you push them down. You get an emotion, you push it down. Yeah. Don't feel it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
I just do like in a joyful way because I'm feeling like I found my own mantra, like I do it in a joyful way and I get to get clarity what is joy for me. Because what is joy for me, it's completely different what is joy for you.
Yes,
And
yes.
everything filtered through your joy. Everything in life
So
filtered through your joy.
filters through your joy. So you need to work out what your joy is first, like what your filter is,
Yeah,
so you can experience your joy. Yeah, because like you and
exactly.
I would have different joys. Yeah, like one of
Exactly.
my crazy joys is I love swimming in the ocean in winter. That's one of my
Exactly.
joys. Very few people share that joy, right? But it's my joy.
Exactly.
And I found that's something that I really love to do. So I found my
Exactly.
joy filter. So you mentioned namaste. I know namaste. Namaste is the spirit in me respects and honors the spirit in you. That's a Buddhist tradition, which is I treasure hugely. I'm really curious. Though, you talked about your mantra. What is your mantra? Do you have a mantra?
Yes, I have my mantra. It's called like Om Mani Padme Hum. Om
Om Mani
Mani Padme Hum.
Padme Hum. So, and that is a Buddhist mantra. That is a Buddhist mantra.
Yes, it's
That's one of the
yes.
fundamental Buddhist mantras, isn't it?
Yes,
Om
it's
Mani
about
Padme Hum.
purity because ego, when we're kids, our ego is a pure.
Yes.
We don't have any like a bad intention. We're just very curious to learn, and we're
Yes.
curious to ask questions. We're curious to explore. We're curious all the time. We're using curiosity as a way
Yeah.
to explore. And
Yes.
as adults, we get a scare. We get like a scare of like, oh, this person will not like me if I express this or that.
Yeah.
So mantra helps you to be a purity back. Ego is good. The things is purifying ego. Ego is always protecting you. Ego is always wants you the best. But the things is we're limiting ourselves because of all this self-limited beliefs and all these programs that was surrounded us through the so long. And mantras helping us like even 5 minutes, 10 minutes a day. It helps you to purify everything through the day and make make your day way more joyful
Yeah.
and colorful. And each experience, it's like just magical. And you can see so much magic around you. And gratitude is also a very important tool to practice.
Yes.
Gratitude,
Gratitude
be grateful
practice.
what you have each day. You have yourself, you have health, you have like a beautiful life, you're living in an amazing country, you live like doing amazing things that you enjoy. So so many things you can be grateful for, and just practice. Just start it with one, what you're grateful today, and practice that attitude, gratitude.
An
Gratitude is attitude as well.
attitude of gratitude. That's right. That's right. That's right. Aisha, this has been a delight. Thank you for being a guest on Growth Tales.
Joyful living. Namaste. Thank you very much, Peter. I
Namaste to
appreciate
you.
it.